seeing the world, escaping rent, or feeling stuck wherever you settle so you wind up in a snail shell. For whatever reason, there are over 3 million American citizens living in their vehicle, and I am one of them. Although my lifelong plan is to live in Europe, after a few months in Lisbon, I realized it wasn't my time yet. I adore slow living, but I just crave a faster pace at the moment, or at least like the pace it is here in the US, and that I need to stay all 50 states before I dip out, you know? But those are literally the only reasons. Like food, prices, relationships, love, culture, transit, etc. They're all better over there, at least in my opinion.
That's my opinion!
So Vanlife, back to the US, back to my family's home, in a state where currently a theme park is outwitting the state government. I am redoing my vanny here, at least zhuzhing it up for the next ride. It's taking more time than I anticipated, but you know what, that's like 99% of projects. But here is where we are so far. Now, most vanlifers that you'll find on this site of the U's and Tubes are wilderness vanlifers. Like, they're camping, they're outdoors, and although I'm in like this active effort to like shed my middle school skin of trying to be not like other girls, I'm going to relapse here and say that I am not like other vanlifers. I am a city dweller. That's right. I'm making my van so I can live in cities, or be like super urban stealth mode. So I have different needs, which requires a different build. One that, rather than focusing on external kitchens and living rooms and what have you, everything has to be internal. It has to fit inside my little sardine can of a car. Sounds simple, right? Wrong! I don't have a luxurious RV, I don't have a Sprinter van, I don't have, you know, a commercial vehicle. I have a 2013 Chrysler Town & Country. Translated to English, that is a small minivan. Now, I'm not gonna like cry wolf here and be like, it's the smallest minivan ever. There are definitely smaller vans than mine. Okay, I'm touching grass. But the builds for minivans that you will see online are mostly like relying on having things be outside. Or I have to stand outside of my car and access the kitchen that way, have a living room that way, and cook outdoors, which I can't really do. And that type of build is classically defined as camping, which for the, hold on, I have to read this number. For the 7,879,532,000 rest of us who probably don't know, you cannot camp in New York, let alone most US cities. So I need to make a living quarter that is so organized that I can live in a glorified pea pod without relying on outdoor kitchens, living rooms, or bathrooms. Now before you ask, I'm not putting a bathroom in my van. There are plenty of public restrooms, especially in a city. Like, just go get a coffee and use the bathroom. And if you're living there like I am, make friends with the baristas, bypass buying a coffee, you know, tip them at least because they're not getting paid well, and use the bathroom that way. But there are a lot of public options in cities for bathrooms. And you're never far away from a shop or a cafe, so why would I need it in my van? I'm not gonna make my van a little hamster cage. And before you think to type out the other question, I shower at Planet Fitness, but I'm never too far away from one thanks to their 2,400 locations around the US. And I fill up my water bottle there too, so it's like $26 a month for my water bill, which is pretty amazing. Alright, that's the extent of my mind reading. If you have any other questions, just leave it down in the comment section. The funniest one gets pinned. But my dear friends, it's not just the build that's gonna be new. I'm gonna have to adapt to a different way of living. That's a little dramatic, let me explain. So first off, I won't be cooking with gas mostly. I'm not gonna be hotboxing myself in my van for crying out loud. I think it is relatively safe if I open up a door and cook with gas, like my little butane stove in my van. But I don't want to risk it for the biscuit, okay? I'd rather have like milk and cereal every single day than to blow myself up. Also, if it's a cloudy day and I don't get that much energy per se, I won't have energy to like boil eggs or make an egg sandwich unless I want to run my car. But I did get a sexy panel, 200 watt panel that I'm going to install on the top of my van, and I have a low watt fridge, which is just changed the game for me. Because you know how much food I wasted because the ice melted faster than I anticipated. Rip food. And I'm gonna hook up the solar panel and my fridge to my 500 watt Jackery. I wish it was 1,000 watt, but I do not have $1,000 to dish out at the moment. Unless you want to, like, support me, you can Venmo me, buy me a coffee. But honestly, I can live off of 500 watts. People live off of lower, I'll be fine. And I tested it out once before filming this, and it seems good. Like, the solar panel brings in anything from like maximum 75 I've seen, 79 also if I tilt it, to like on a cloudy day 35. But I need to do a test of 24 hours to see if my solar panels can handle doing a full day of charging and then a full night of not charging while running my fridge. Because food still needs to be chilled 24 hours, not just when the sun's out. That's my one concern, seeing if my little battery can handle it. And also I like to use my energy for other things than just my fridge, you know, like charging my appliances, running my fan, etc. So hopefully it goes all the way back to 100 after, you know, a night of sustaining my fridge. That's all. And speaking of cooking, I also need to find a way to make coffee without a kettle. And since I have this new handy dandy fridge, I'm thinking, okay, let's make some cold brew. I've seen some methods online that you can just like steep it either room temperature or in the fridge itself. My only concern is that I don't want to rely on my kettle all the time if I don't have the energy at the moment, or, you know, if I just want coffee ASAP. Because here's the thing, when you live in a van and you want to get coffee, if you don't have a kettle, that means you have to get ready, like get dressed, make yourself presentable, walk to the cafe, order, wait for them to make your coffee if the line isn't that long, because the line can be in like an additional 10 to 15 minutes if it's good coffee. And then you finally get your coffee, which that is like a whole 45 minutes from wake to first sip. Unacceptable is the word you're looking for. That is unacceptable. As soon as I wake up, I let out my dog and I make coffee. So I'm hoping a cold brew method would just, you know, cut out the time and make it so I can get my coffee now because mommy needs her coffee before she talks to people in the morning. Not before my coffee, you know? And if you can see behind me, this is where I'm going to be putting down a foldable desk because I am looking to build a working area in my van so I don't have to rely on cafes. But Madison, you said that you live in a city, you're gonna have cafes all around you. Yes, but they do not operate the way I want them to operate. Some close at 3, especially if it's a Sunday, everywhere. It's like closed before 5. Sometimes I don't feel like being around people. I want to work in my PJs. And if you go to the campsite for the day, you don't want to go back into town just to like have a writing desk or, you know, be in a sitting situation. So I just want to take out my dependency on cafes and just have like a cafe vibe in my van without needing to go to one. Also, like, some cafes that just have cursed energy and I'm really sick and tired of it being like catfished on Yelp about what a cafe is, and then getting there and either like there's no seats available, the cafe is awful but the place is cool, or the place is awful but the coffee is good. That hardly ever happens. The vibes are off, coffee is off. So yeah, hopefully we can get to at least 2 of these things in the video. I think the cafe and the energy, yes. Let me show you what you missed on Disney Channel. Let me show you what you missed so far in this build. It's been really slow. It's taken us 2 months. I'm gonna put down this hammer now. So, I have nothing but the floor. But I took out my seats. So what we're doing right now is just cutting out holes underneath the floorboards. Normally we wouldn't glue this laminate over a floorboard. Right now it's just like a huge, you know, plank of wood. Couldn't give you the dimensions. My brain is empty at the moment with wood dimensions. But it's a sheet of wood, and we put this waterproof laminate over it, or like floor shillings. I either have like, we already cut one here, which the center blocks is where we just put down glue. And if you can see right here, this line, I'm not gonna show you it, you have to work for it, you have to use your eyes. Come on, where's Waldo? Kids don't even do where's Waldo nowadays. Right here is our first hatch that we made. And I say we, my dad did this because I made my last one, and while I was proud of it, while I was like, whoa, this is great, I do not trust myself with measuring. My dad has been doing like crafts, building, all this stuff all of his life, so I trust a man more than I do. So thank you, Dad. I'm out here helping, obviously, but like when measurements and actually cutting, I hate saws. How convenient. Alright, hold on, I'm gonna show you something. Look up. Don't strain your neck. We took off the electrical unit that was on the ceiling, and that was the biggest pain in my butt because if it wasn't there, I could sit up straight, but since it was there, I was always like this. So now I won't have, what is this? Oh, my fan. Little net contraptions, you know? So let's run a few experiments for my city-dwelling van, alright? Hi. So I actually steeped this cold brew that we're about to test out on a whim. I was like, oh, I gotta do this now. And I forgot to film it. So you just kind of have to trust me. I can show you like the timestamps of when I made this coffee. I sent it to my friend who gave me the beans. Thank you, Yasmin. Just to like test it for authenticity, to make it authentic as possible. I saved it in my fridge that I'll be taking with me on the road. And so now all we have to do is strain it and drink it. Let's do it. Here she is. This is steeped for a little over 24 hours. I made this past 6 o'clock, so when it hit 24 hours yesterday, I was like, I'm not about to ruin my sleep schedule for a video, so here we are. Here's the coffee. It's nice. Tastes a little flat. Dear Lord, take the bill. Gunky, gunky. Okay. All that's left is soggy ground beans. And if I had a cheesecloth, I would be able to squeeze out the remaining parts. But you know what? I'm not that desperate at the moment. And if I wanted to, let's see if I can like squeeze this. Yeah, it's a decent amount. So doing it this way, cleanliness, other than the drip I just made, I would say is a 9. I won't make a mess in the van, which I love. It seems like this is 3 to 4 days worth of cold brew, so huzzah. Let me show you guys. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, now you can get a better look at the steeping cold brew method I got off of TikTok. Thank you, TikTok. If this tastes good, I'm gonna be so happy. So cheers. Okay, it's not gritty, but it's not liquid either. Like it's always liquid. But it kind of has a little, Let's see, cheers again. Maybe it's the beans. I can see how this is good. This is actually good. Like I would enjoy this and no complaints. If you have a method that you like for steeping your cold brew coffee, leave it down in the comments or like send me a link because I'm gonna make this work. I would say the taste is at 7 right now and I know it could be a 10, just like normal coffee. Maybe I will have to try the cheesecloth. Decisions.